again, it seems to me, if you're looking at Xi Jinping, the attack in Ladakh was just foolish to the extreme, because it had India, which was one of the first countries to recognize China in the 50s. It was a non-aligned nation. It so antagonized India that it started pushing it into the other column, into the other alliance. Why do that over a pile of rocks in Ladakh? It's not easy to explain.
And before I let you go, would you like to speculate about what eventually happens to Tibet? You already said it's a dead issue, more or less. Do you see any hope at all beyond the current Dalai Lama things happening at all?
Well, in 1979, 80, when Hu Yaobang came into office after the Cultural Revolution, there was an amazing period where he pulled back all the Han Chinese cadres from Tibet, where he allowed the Dalai Lama's sister to go to, I think it was to the border regions or in Qinghai, their homeland. Amazing things started to happen. And we thought actually there could be some sort of greater autonomy within the sort of Chinese imperium. But then, of course, Hu Yaobang got kicked out.
Right.
So it is possible that under a new leadership, and there are the incipient, abilities within China to be more open, more democratic, more tolerant. It is possible that such a period could come again. I think it's going to be very difficult for Tibet to gain any kind of independence, however. I don't foresee, at least in the near future, China doing that. Although when you look at dynastic history, you see China growing and shrinking in different periods as it adopts border regions, and then control grows weak and it has to let them go. I think Tibet is one of the great tragedies of the last 2 centuries, and I don't see a solution soon.
In any case, this is the last Dalai Lama in terms of having any broader influence, because once Tenzin Gyatso passes, by the time the new Dalai Lama becomes effective, it will be, I doubt if it will ever happen.
Well, we know what happened with the Panchen Lama.
Right.
The Dalai Lama's appointed Panchen Lama got locked up, and the party appointed its own Panchen Lama, and we haven't really heard much from that. So in effect, what we see is the atrophying of the whole structure of Tibetan Buddhism and how it works as a social system within Tibetan society. So I think what they did in Tibet is exactly what they're doing in Xinjiang. They're diluting it with Han culture. They're destroying the language and the traditional religion and culture as central elements in the way all Tibetans or all Uyghurs or people in Xinjiang may see their life, and making them speak Chinese and be dependent on Beijing. And that's sort of the end of a culture.